At what age did you decide you wanted to be a presenter and why?
I think I was about, just trying to think from memory, I was about 22, maybe, 21, 22.
Okay,
And
cool.
a friend of mine, David Bentley, and I were chatting one day in Wellington about what we were going to do after university. And two friends of mine had just started a TV show at university that I went to in Dunedin, the Otago University.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that I could, that I should get involved with that because that would be a good start. And so, as luck would have it, they needed another presenter because the one that they kept getting, she kept going missing. Like she didn't want to do it.
Okay.
Or she had more important things to do. So I said I could help out for a show, and then it started from there. So wasn't. I wanted to be a journalist when I was 12 years old, 14 years old, but then to be a TV presenter probably a little bit later in life.
Oh, cool. Oh, thank you. That's great. Was being a presenter your first choice of career?
When I was young, I wanted to be a cop.
Oh, cool.
Policeman. But then my parents both worked in radio, and so being a presenter, I wanted to do something in media as well. And my dad was a sports reporter and producer for New Zealand Broadcasting Corporation, NZBC, and then I got to spend a lot of time in the office just watching journos and presenters and radio announcers do their work and go out and do stories and stuff. So that's where I started to rub shoulders with that kind of media.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Who has been your greatest influence professionally on your presenting career and why?
I think for personally that I've known, it's been friends who have been in the industry. There's a good friend of mine named Nathan Rarere, which is his last name is Rarere, and he and I have been friends for about 10 years now, and I used to work with him at TV3. And he was on my favourite TV show called Ice TV back in the 90s. And it was a magazine-style show with lots of different stories about lots of different things, aimed at, teenagers and young adults and, things like that. So getting a chance to work with him was pretty cool at TV3. I watched a lot of Sports Centre on ESPN when I was a teenager.
Oh, cool. Me
Watched
too.
a lot of basketball as well. And so commentators like Marv Albert, who was a commentator in the US who did the NBA, he influenced me. And then all the old Sports Centre presenters and the way that they treated sports and the way that they had fun doing it, that really influenced me as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How important have your friends and family been in terms of realising your dreams?
Very, very important. I think my parents never really tried to steer me in any one direction. They always supported the choices that I made, and then they also made sure that they backed me when I decided I could do this the presenting stuff, because there aren't a lot of jobs going around. There weren't back then. Obviously, there's a lot of TV channels now, but there weren't many TV channels back in the day. And so my parents, Dad started out being a junior reporter, and so that's sort of how I started out as well. So yeah, friends and family are very important to help you decide where you want to be, because there's nothing worse than people trying to tell you that you shouldn't do that when that's what you want to do, because that really affects you and how your confidence as well. It affects your confidence levels.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
What 3 attributes do you think you require in order to succeed in today's competitive world of presenting?
I think you have to be genuine. I think that's one aspect, one important thing. I think you also have to be knowledgeable. I think you really have to do a lot of hard work behind the scenes, staying up with the play as such.
Yep.
And I think you have to be really passionate and happy that you're doing it. I think a lot of people do try to get into presenting for all the wrong reasons. They want to be on TV or on the radio without actually thinking how they're going to go about it and do it, and what they're going to do, essentially. I mean, they just want to be on TV or they want to be on radio, and I don't think you have to be pretty transparent, Edward. You have to be pretty you have to be who you are in real life when you go on TV, or else people will see through you at home, and I think a lot of people get caught out by that, so they don't really last. So only people who really want to do it and know that what they want to do, that really helps.
Oh, cool. What one piece of advice would you give to a young person who's embarking upon a new career path?
I would say work hard. I'd say study hard. Make sure you have a lot of balance in your life. Don't do too much of just one thing. I think balance really helps, whether you have a part-time job and you have a passion that you want to follow, and you also have extracurricular activities, whether it be sport or the arts or anything like that. But I think you have to do a whole range of things. It makes you a well-rounded person.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Halfway through the questions now.
Cool.
Can you describe the most defining moment of your presenting career?
I think when I left university, I went and worked for a radio station called The Edge, and I went to live in Hamilton for 9 months. And then the whole station moved to Auckland. And then I wasn't really enjoying the role that I was in. I was more in marketing promotions side of radio. And I decided that I would leave this job and go and live in Japan, in Tokyo, with a mate.
Oh, cool.
And teach English, which was really cool at the time. And it was great. But when I was over there, I decided that getting out of New Zealand and getting away from what I was doing, and then really deciding where I wanted to head to, I actually had the intention of going and doing my OE. But when I was over there, I was like, well, I've already done TV presenting at uni, and I've already had a taste of radio. I'm pretty sure I can make a go of it if I head back. So after 6 months, I headed back to New Zealand and got in touch with a friend who I used to work with at university at the TV station, and she now worked at TV3. And she introduced me to the executive producer of 3 Sport.
Cool.
And at the time, they had all the rugby and the cricket free-to-air rights. And they needed a reporter for their delayed coverage of the rugby. And that's how it started. I got lucky. Timing is everything, Edward.
Okay.
But yeah, I got lucky, really.
Oh, cool. Thanks for that.
No worries. How am I going? Am I going okay?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, really good answers and perfect length. Yeah,
cool.
It's all going great. Thank you.
No worries.
What does an average week of work consist of, and how many hours a week do you put in? Because I know you do like a lot of research, and you run multiple jobs, like with The Rock and with obviously the great show The Crowd Goes Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long day, Monday to Friday, long days. I start work at The Rock at 5:30. I get up at about 4:30.
Oh wow!
And I go there, and I'm at The Rock 3.5 hours on air, and then 2 hours off air, prepping with the other announcers, and then I will go maybe on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays after radio. I'll go to the gym, and then I'll do maybe a bit of boxing or do a bit of running lately, because I've got to do the half marathon in November in Auckland.
Oh, cool! Good luck for that.
Yeah. So I do that 3 days a week, and then after that, I'll come home, have a bite to eat, and then I'll head out to Crowd, which is at Sky TV in Mount Wellington, and I'll get there around about 3 o'clock, and I'm there until 7:30 when we finish the show, and then I head home, and I have about an hour before I go to bed at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and that's my day. But all the time, I'm always on the internet. I'm always checking Twitter for stories. I'm always looking for different things that can help me on the radio or on TV.
Oh, awesome! Thanks for sharing.
No worries.
What did you have to sacrifice in order for your presenting career to survive?
That's a good question. I don't think I've really had to sacrifice too much to get where I am now. I've been in the right place at the right time, I think, and I think a lot of people sort of realise that you can be really good at your job, but if there's no job for you to be good at, then it's pretty hard to keep a job.
Yeah.
So I haven't really sacrificed too much. I spend a lot of time away from home, whether it's working, doing different jobs on the weekends, or having to go to bed early on at night when I could be out hanging out talking to my wife. But on the weekends, it's really important that I have that time with my friends and family. So I guess time away from friends and family is the main thing I've sacrificed.
Definitely.
And bags under my eyes, Edward.
Oh yeah, me
Getting
too.
up early in the morning, that doesn't help my good looks.
Yeah. How important was your team in ensuring the success of your presenting career?
How important was what? Sorry.
Your team.
Oh,
So
my
like,
team.
yeah,
Very important. We got a really good team at Crowd Goes Wild. We got some really good people that I work with, who we're all on the same page, which makes it really, really easy to do our jobs together. We'd always like to have one or two extra people to help out. Some days are really busy and we're stretched, or somebody's away, or somebody's sick, and then we're really under the pump. And that seems to happen more often than not. But a team, and it's the same at radio. We've got great people. We all have the common goal of being good at what we do, and then making sure that people who watch or listen find it enjoyable. And you don't get a lot of feedback, but lately with Twitter and Facebook, you find out if you've hit the mark or not, which I think is good. It keeps you in check, keeps you in line.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, team is definitely. I've got really good teams that I work with.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
These two questions are kind of the key questions of the project now, so there's only two more left.
Okay.
What is the greatest challenge you have faced, and how did you overcome this?
Oh, look, TV. We're pretty lucky to be doing a TV show where it's every night at 7:00, and we've had a couple of changes in the time slot over the last few years, where they haven't really decided if they're going to continue with Crowd Goes Wild. And those have been some big challenges, trying to convince the people who give us the money to make the show that it's worthwhile. And the people who watch the show caught wind of it, and they didn't like the fact that they might lose Crowd Goes Wild. So a lot of people got together and made it known that Crowd Goes Wild was popular, and that it was always watched by people, even though the ratings might not suggest it, but it was a popular show. And I think that was one thing that we overcame, was people not believing in it, that made the big financial decisions. I think that's probably the biggest thing that we've had lately.
Oh, well, I think your show's brilliant, so I can't see it going anytime soon.
Thank you very much.
No, that's no problem.
I hope we stay with it.
Yeah. In your own words, what is the key to success?
Wow. I think the key to success is probably trying to be as good a person at your job as you can be, and not taking anything for granted. I think if you start reading too much about yourself, or especially in media, if you start believing the hype, then I think you can lose sight of what you're trying to achieve. And I think if you're a good, grounded person and you make sure that you do a lot of hard work, then that'll translate into your job. And I think if you stay grounded, work hard, and be true to yourself, I believe that's probably the main thing when you're in media.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. How was that? Was that all right?
Oh.